Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth Ann, and today I'm here with another reading vlog, except for it's not a reading vlog, it's just a book themed video. So I guess just another bookish video. I was gonna wear something cute, and then I saw this hanging in my closet, and I was like, what better thing to wear than my favorite bookish merch. By the way guys, if you're looking for bookish ideas, this website has the cutest merch, and it's all like very like you wouldn't know it was bookish merch unless you read the books and you're like, oh, that's bookish merch. Wait, hi. I'm very excited for this video because I've never filmed this before, and I filmed it, I'm not even gonna lie, I think I filmed it twice, and the first time I was just like, too scattered. Second time I was like half asleep. So here we are filming it again, and we're gonna roll with the punches, however the cards may fall. So for 2024, last year I read 22 books. So this year I wanted to read 30. Honestly, if I was as proactive as I've been in the past, like, I don't know, month, I probably would have read like 50. November 25th, when I'm recording this, I know I'll have more towards the end of the year, but I was searching for things to do for vlogmas videos, and I thought this would be perfect. So marking the day, November 25th, I have read 27 out of 30. I will definitely make it to 30. I kind of want to push myself because I think I might have time, especially towards the end of the year, not before Christmas obviously, to read 40. So I might push myself and do that, especially because I've been reading a bunch of Christmas shorts. Now a lot of people may be thinking those like really aren't full books, but to me they are. So here we are. Anyway, so let's get into it. Just go all the way down, and actually I'm gonna start from the top so I can remember what the books are. Okay, the first one is Cruel Winter with You, and it's under the Mistletoe collection. It's this Amazon collection where a bunch of popular authors have written these shorts. And Cruel Winter with You is by Ali Hazelwood, which, if you guys don't know, she has a lot of popular books. It was so cute. It was a nice little short. I loved it. And I plan to like read or listen to the audiobooks for those, and they are free if you have Amazon Prime, so definitely check that out. Next is Holiday Hideaway with Mary Kay Andrews. You guys have already seen how I felt about that book. I loved it, like loved it. It was so cute. I love Mary Kay's Christmas books, and it was just so amazing. Next is The Christmas Bookshop. To be fair, I kind of read like a little bit along the way over the past. I probably had the book on Kindle for like a year, maybe 2 years. I don't know how long it's been out, and I just finally finished it, I guess, last week. Up next, The Merry Matchmaker, and once again, I'm not going to go through these because I have talked about all the holiday books in a separate video. I think probably between Holiday Hideaway and this, it's my favorite Christmas books so far that I've read. Next is The Christmas Tree Farm, which is the third book in the Dream Harbor series by Laurie Gilmore. Christmas Land by Anne Marie Meyer, and that's the book I told you guys about that is going to be a Hallmark movie. And now we're getting into regular books. Next we have Dinner for Vampires, Life on a Cult TV show. If you guys are not, I was about to say One Direction. If you guys are not a One Tree Hill fan, you might not know who Bethany Joy Lenz is. She was one of the main characters, Haley, in One Tree Hill, and now she does a lot of like Hallmark movies. I don't know, I haven't really paid that much attention as to like what else she's been in. I know she has had the podcast with the girls, but anyway, all to say, she was in a cult when she was filming One Tree Hill, and she wrote a book about it. And I went in it, I didn't research anything, I just saw it pop up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to that audiobook. And I did, and it was really good. I definitely suggest to listen to it. Obviously, I'm sure reading is just as good, but it was cool to hear her telling these stories. So basically, she just dives into the cult she was in, her life while she was on the show, her life leading up to the show, her life after the show, her toxic marriage, that she's now divorced, and everything along the way. And it's really good. Definitely, if you are a One Tree Girly, read or listen to that. Next is Funny Story by Emily Henry. Out of the 2 Emily Henry books I read this year, one I like more. Basically the story about 2 different couples getting married, and they have these picture perfect like romances, and they're gonna get married and live happily ever after, and then the guy from this couple and the girl from this couple decide to be a different couple. I think you can see where this one's going. So thus the funny story began. It's a funny story. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to give anything else away. But the couple basically fake dates, and you know how fake dating tropes typically end up. Anyway, next I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which is also part of the Dream Harbor series, and it feels good to say I've read a series. Now, were those my favorites of the year? No. I thought The Pumpkin Spice Cafe was cute, and well, I thought both of them were cute. I think out of all of the books in the series, there's 3. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe makes the most sense and is the cutest to me. The second one is also super cute, but the third, they lost me. But if you're in the mood for a cheesy, like, what's the word? Campy is not the right word. like cheesy rom-com moment, they're cute. I don't think they deserve the hype that they get on TikTok, but that's neither here nor there. Next is The Perfect Couple, and it's the 3rd book out of Ellen Hildebrand's Nantucket series, and I read it because I saw it was turning into a TV series, and chef's kiss, it sucked me in so fast. Like, I think I read that book in 2 days. It was so good, and now I'm gonna go back probably in the new year and start reading the ones before it. And then I've read a little bit of A Swan Song, but I haven't like gotten sucked in like I did for The Perfect Couple. Like, basically a whodunit thriller set in Nantucket. Basically it's about this wealthy family, which another thing about me is I love reading books like this. And it's about this wealthy family, and they can pay for anything to go their way and everything, and they're hosting their son's wedding, and the maid of honor gets found, you know what I mean, and it follows them through the chaos that ensued before and after. And yeah, it's really good. If you guys have seen the TV series, the book is like a little different. I found the TV series really interesting, how they paced it out, especially being an editor. I don't know if that's how I would have done it, but it is a really good series. But next is like an editing book. I read Editing for Directors, and it was really good. It basically, I know editing, but I thought it was like a cool book, and I was like, oh, I can use it for like a coffee table book or something, and I just ended up reading the entire thing. So next is Invest Like a Girl, Jump into the Stock Market, Reach Your Money Goals, and Build Wealth. I really enjoyed this book. You're just a girl, as am I. We gotta stay on top of our finances. Like, we gotta read, we gotta see the different ways to invest, and this is really good, especially if you're just like, if you know nothing about finance, stocks, investing, where to put your money, when should you start saving for this, when should you start saving for that, should you have like a healthcare savings account, like where should everything be, when should you be doing it. It's a good jumping point. I obviously I know like a good amount about the stock market and finances and investing and everything, but I am really trying to just always read more and learn more and hear different perspectives. So that was one of my goals in the year, and I'm glad I got it kickstarted. I did start and read like halfway of another one, but I ran out of renewal, so I never finished it, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was good. So if I remember, or if I can find it in my Pines thing, I'll put it on the screen. Next is Atomic Habits. Everyone knows Atomic Habits. Live, Laugh, Loved Atomic Habits. Next is The House Across the Lake. Riley Sager has a chokehold on me, and I just like can't even. His books are so good. Like, he is my Agatha. Actually, I love Agatha too, but you know what I mean. The House Across the Lake, like, I don't even know how to describe it except for I'm just gonna have to read it to you because there's like so much that goes on, and I don't know how to give anything away. Riley Sager is one of the first authors that I've like read his books and like genuinely been shocked by the plot twist. Casey Fletcher, a recently widowed actress trying to escape this streak of bad press, has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. Armored with a pair of binoculars and several bottles of liquor, she passes the time watching Tom and Catherine Royce, the glamorous couple who live in the house across the lake. They make for good viewing. A tech innovator, Tom is rich, and a former model, Catherine is gorgeous. One day on the lake, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strike up a budding friendship. But the more they get to know each other and the longer Casey watches, it becomes clear that Catherine and Tom's marriage is not as perfect and placid as it appears. When Catherine suddenly vanishes, Casey becomes consumed with finding out what happened to her. In the process, she uncovers eerie, darker truths about a tale of voyeurism and suspicion into a story of guilt, obsession, and how looks can be very deceiving. With his trademark blend of sharp character, psychological suspense, and gasp-worthy surprises, Riley Sager's The House Across the Lake unveils more than one twist that will shock readers until the very end. So good. Okay. Next up, summer romance. I love Annabelle. Annabelle's books are amazing. I will say this would probably be in last place for me. Not that it's a bad book or anything. I still gave it 5 stars. I love her books, seriously, so much. They're the perfect rom-com, perfect summer reads. First is Nora goes off script. Second is Same Time Next Summer. And third, obviously, is Summer Romance. And she has another one that's already ready for pre-order. So excited. I love her stories because they're typically about someone like a little later in life. They have kids, they've gone through divorce, etc., and finding their happy ending and going through life's bumps along the way. It's a summer romance. It's always fun, always brief, and no one gets their heart broken. There aren't enough labeled glass containers to contain the mess that is Allie Morris's life. Her mom died 2 years ago, then her husband left, and she hasn't worn pants with a zipper in longer than she cares to remember. She's a professional organizer whose pantry is a disgrace. No one is more surprised than Allie when the first time she takes off her wedding ring and puts on pants with hardware, overalls count right, she meets someone. Or rather, her dog claims a man for her in the same way he claimed his favorite of her 3 children, by peeing on him. Ethan smiles at Allie like her pants are just right, like he likes what he sees. The last thing Allie needs is to make her life messier. But there's no harm in a little summer romance, is there? Stop, so cute. Next is Think Again, The Power of Knowing What You Don't Know. This was such an interesting book. I loved reading this book, and it's basically about being able to embrace the things we don't know, unlearn things of the past, and embrace the joy of like being wrong and being proven wrong. And I think, like, seriously, if half of America would read this book, we would be in a much better place. It's a big book about like being able to disagree with people. So next is Daisy Hates. Like, there is no explanation needed. Everyone knows Magnolia Park, Daisy Hates. I have all of the books because I have all the physical copies, but I've read probably like 50 or 60 pages of the 3rd book, which I'll put on the screen because I can't remember what's next. Maybe like Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. I can't remember what the 3rd one is, but anyway, so I've read a little bit of that. And I love the series so much. It's such a good escape. But if you guys don't know anything about it, it's basically about this friend group, this weird intertwined friend group of the ultra wealthy rich kids of London. And yeah, it's so good. There's no need for me to like read it, because if you don't know what it is, you just gotta look it up for yourself, okay? And do yourself a favor and look it up. Next is one of my top 5 books. Seriously, I can't stress enough how much you need to read this book if you have any ounce of like self-doubt, anxiety, depression, if you've struggled with mental health in any way. And even if you haven't, I feel like now we're going into uncharted territory, especially with like the younger kids having social media like in their fingertips, having social media in the palms of their hands. And I feel like this book would be really helpful, and I wish I only had read it earlier in life. And it's really good. The entire name is How to Stay the Overthinking Cure, How to Stay in the Present, Shake Your Negativity, and Decode Your Stress and Anxiety. It is seriously so good. And yeah, it helps like understand the chatter in your brain, and it really is helpful and gives useful tips. So yeah, anyway, The House of Hidden Meaning, which is RuPaul's latest book, it was so good. I loved hearing more of RuPaul's backstory. I'm such a RuPaul stan. Love her. Anyway, and it gives a big backstory into her growing up and life, how she got to where she is, basically. And it's really good. Next, the only one left. I don't think I've ever been as gagged by a book. I've recommended this book to every single person in my life this year. This is like literally top 10 books ever. Obsessed. Another Riley Sager, and I'm just gonna read it because I don't want to give anything away. At 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope. Now reduced to a schoolyard chant, the Hope family murders shocked the Maine coast one bloody night in 1929. While most people assume 17-year-old Lenora was responsible, the police were never able to prove it. Other than her denial after the killings, she has never spoken publicly about that night, nor has she stepped foot outside of Hope's End, the cliffside mansion where the massacre occurred. She stabbed her father with a knife and took her mother's happy life. It's now 1983, and home health aide Kit McDeer arrives at the decaying Hope's End to care for Lenora after her previous nurse fled in the middle of the night. In her 70s and confined to a wheelchair, Lenora was rendered mute by a series of strokes and can only communicate with Kit by tapping out sentences in an old typewriter. One night, Lenora uses it to make a tantalizing offer. "I want to tell you everything. It wasn't me," Lenora said, but she was not the only one dead. As Kit helps Lenora write about the events leading to the Hope family massacre, it becomes clear there's more to the tale than people know. But when new details about her predecessor's departure come into light, Kit starts to suspect Lenora might not be telling the complete truth, and that the seemingly harmless woman in her care could be far more dangerous than she first thought. Yep. Okay, we're almost done. Next is Good Material by Dolly Alderton. I freaking love her books. They're so good. They're amazing. From the best-selling author of Ghosts and Everything I Know About Love, which, by the way, if you've not read Everything I Know About Love, go read it right now. A story about heartbreak and friendship and how to survive both. Andy's story wasn't meant to turn out this way, living out of his suitcase in his best friend's spare room, waiting for his career as a stand-up comedian to finally take off. He struggles to process the life-ending end of a relationship with the only woman he's ever truly loved. As he tries to solve the seemingly unsolvable mystery of his broken relationship, he contends with a career catastrophe, social media paranoia, a rapidly dwindling friendship group, and the growing suspicion that at 35 he really should have figured it all out by now. Andy has a lot to learn, not least his ex-girlfriend's side of the story. Warm, wise, funny, and achingly relatable, Dolly Alderton's highly anticipated second novel is about the mystery of what draws us together and what pulls us apart, the pain of really growing up, and the stories we tell our lives. Love her, love her, love her, love her. Next is Happy Place. People like love or hated Happy Place. It's not my favorite. I'm just gonna be honest and say, like, her first 3 books have been my favorite books so far. So, very excited for the adaptations. But anyway, next, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I DNF'd this like 2 years ago, and I don't know why. Second time around it sucked me in and it gagged me. It gagged me for sure. And yeah, if you don't know the lore, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, go look it up. Taylor Jenkins Reid. People either love her books or hate her books. I really want to try to read more of her books because I just loved this book so much. Aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses an unknown magazine reporter, Monique Grant, for the job, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Why her? Why now? Monique is not exactly at the top of her world. Her husband has left her, and her professional life is going nowhere. Regardless of why Evelyn has selected her to write her biography, Monique is determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career. Summoned to Summoned to Evelyn's luxurious apartment, Monique listens in fascination as the actress tells her story. Making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s, to her decision to leave the show business in the 80s, and of course the 7 husbands along the way. Evelyn unpulls a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. Monique begins to feel a very real connection to the legendary star, but as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. So good. To the last 2. I didn't know I needed this, The New Rules for Flirting, Feeling, and Finding Yourself by Eli Rallo. She's an influencer, and I'm just gonna be honest, I DNF'd this. I didn't like it. I don't know why. Like, I liked Tinks's book, which I feel like is sort of like a similar vibe. But love watching her videos, did not love her book. Kill Show. Now you guys, if you're a true crime girly like me, I feel like it's an important reminder as to how weird it is that we're true crime girlies. This book is so good. It's like a true crime novel to kind of like show the ugly underbelly of the true crime obsession. I'll just read this for you because it might like help you a little bit, but I really liked it. It was sort of written in a script view, which I love reading scripts. So I really enjoyed it. But when 16-year-old Sarah Parcell goes missing, it's an utter tragedy and an entertaining national obsession. In this thoughtful and addictively readable novel that offers a fresh and provocative take on whodunits in true crime. Sarah Parcell disappeared without a trace on a crisp April morning in Frederick, Maryland. Her tragic story was a national obsession and a centerpiece of a controversial television docuseries that followed her disappearance in real time. But is it possible that everyone missed the biggest secret of all? 10 years after these events, the people who knew Sarah best are finally ready to talk. In this genre-bending novel, Daniel Swearin Becker fashions an oral history around the seemingly familiar crime of a teenage girl gone missing. Yet Kill Show is filled with diabolical twists and provocative social commentary is no standard mystery. Through interviews with family members, neighbors, law enforcement, television executives, and the host of other compelling characters, Becker constructs a riveting tale about one family's tragedy and Hollywood's insatiable desire to exploit it. By revealing the seedy underbelly of the true crime entertainment machine, Kill Show probes literary territory beyond the bounds of the standard whodunit. It's a thoughtful exploration into our obsession with the mysteries, cold cases, and violent tales we turn to for comfort. Groundbreaking, fast-moving, and informed, this is a novel about who's really responsible for the tragedies we love to consume. Mic drop. Mic drop. Right. I don't even know what to say other than it was my first read of the year. It's such a short book. Let me look. It's like super short. 240 pages. I read it in seriously hours. And I think it's good. As someone who's in the industry, I so see like how these, it's not just like reality TV, but like I would say a lot of reality TV and news people take advantage and pry on the weak. Pry, is that the right word? Anyway, and I just found it really interesting. So without further ado, let's get into my top 5. And I bet, and I've kind of mentioned it, but in no particular order, these are the top 5 finalists of Dancing with the Stars. Just kidding. In no particular order, these are the top 5 that I read this year so far. Who knows? I might come back and be like, guys, remember when I did my top 5? I actually have a new one. Top 5. The only one left. No shocker there. We just went over this. Seriously? I think about it all the time. My Roman Empire. Next is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, once again. Third is The Overthinking Cure. I mean, seriously, go read it now. Fourth is The Summer Romance. Once again, I told you guys, love Annabelle. Love her. And lastly is The Perfect Couple, which is really interesting. 2 out of the 5 were summer reads. 1 out of the 5 with thrillers. I really got into thrillers this year. And you guys know I'm a psychology girly at heart. So no shocker there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys so soon. Love ya.